Hello, this is a super short video. I'd like to talk a little bit how to process the characters, or we call the pang, between two different characters. So first, I like to just play a project made by a student, and you can see the idea of swap or process between two different pang. So first, you have this third-person robot, which I can control with a keyboard, jump. So this is the basic function of the BP third person. However, if I press the keyboard 1, I can swap this character into a drone. For this drone, besides WASD for move, it has this extra key is E and Q, which allow the drone to go up or go down. So this is actual functions for the drone. But besides this Q and E up and down, everything else is kind of the same as the third person robots. So you can move your mouse, you can spin, look around, WASD to control the fly. Okay, so it's not a walk, it's a fly. And then if I press number 2 on the keyboard, I can process this back to the robots, and that drone is disappeared. If I press 1 again, it became a drone. So this is just the way you can swap between two totally different characters, right? So I will explain a little bit how I made this from scratch. So first, you need to have two. Let me just save all. You need to have two character. The first one is a third person robots. The second one is a drone. So I'll explain them one by one. Let's start with the robot, which is the one we are quite familiar. It's a skeletal mesh, no nothing fancy. The only difference here is I have a script here I can explain. Whenever you press 1 on the keyboard, this is input, it will get the current actor location. So whenever this robot is located, you capture this XYZ value of its location. Right? This is transferred to this 3 digits, 3 floating points, rotation and scale. Then you feed that into the spawn transform. So basically, you spawn a new character using the current actor's location. So this is get actor location, make transform into spawn transform. The class I'm going to spawn is called Zhong123. If I search, I can actually see this is that character, right? It's called Zhong. So you're gonna spawn the Zhong, and then after the spawn, you're gonna process, right? So you get current player, which is 0. You process the drone to replace the current player, right? So that's how the drone showed up. And after that, I will destroy the robots. So the way to get rid of the robots is get all actor of class. I identify the third person character, 1, this is the name of the robots, and then I destroy it. So this is the way you get rid of the old one, using the new one instead. And I'm using a very similar logic to create this drone. So if I double click the drone, you can see the script for the drone. So first, let me just go through this one by one. You have this static mesh, which is the shape of the drone. This is download from a free website. And then you have exactly the same component as the robot. You have the follow camera, you have the character movement. In the character movement, I change the default movement mode to flying. I think the default is walking, so just make sure you swap them to flying. And you can manipulate these values if you like to control the speed. Okay, so you can play with these values. Then in the event graph, I will show you this extra code we have is called drone up. So this is basically a way to control the drone to fly up and down. The input axis drone up, and this axis value is applied to the scale value of this add movement input. Okay, I think that's it. This is how you can make the drone move up. If you do want to know this component, well, this is actually a default from this movement component. You can control its go forward, you can control its move right. This is the default from the robot. So this one is new, right? The only difference is the orientation, or we call the vector, is 0, 0, 1. So it's actually going up with the input axis drawn up. If you do want to check out what exactly is the input axis drawn up, I can show you. This is older version of Unreal version 4.27. So the new one is a little bit different because the context mapping, but I can explain the idea. So hopefully that's not something super important. So project, so here if I go to input, I do see there is a value called drawn up. So this is move up, trust, right here the drawn up. So using the key E and Q. E is a positive 10, Q is a negative 10. So basically this value will be loaded into the drone and to control the drone's move up and down. So this could be positive or negative, depends on if it has Q or E. So that's how the drone is moving up and down. Another set of script is very similar like the robot, the logic. So instead of have 1, I have a 2, which will spawn the robot. So here's the third person character 1. This is the robot. And it using the current location transform. Once it's possessed to the current player, you destroy the drone. So the drone 1, 2, 3 will be removed from the current play. So that's basically the whole logic, allow you to swap between these two characters. So if I play one more time just to show you, so here's the robots. If I press 1, I became the drone, and then I have this new input control Q and E. Then I press 2, I swap back to the robots. I jump, 1, I became the drone. It really depends on current location. If I jump in the middle of the air as a robot and press 1, basically using that current location. But if I go really up and press 2, the robot is spawned in the current location. So that's in the air. Okay, so I hope this will give you a clear idea in the future if you do want to swap between two characters, how you can get started. There's one tricky part is these two characters, they are using the third person character, the robot, as a starting point, so their control is very similar. But if you have a different input system, you probably have to code the script to make that input system working. All right, I think that's it.